Every single day, you generate a massive volume of data through the decisions you make, the friction you encounter, and the interactions you have. Most of us process this avalanche of daily information through immediate emotional reactions. When friction hits, we get frustrated. When we succeed, we feel validated. But letting feelings dictate your response turns valuable leverage into chaotic noise. The traditional self-development industry tries to solve this with abstract inspiration and mindset hacks. Standard self-help sits firmly in the top left of this quadrant, high on emotional motivation, but low on measurable return on investment. Pathway to Legacy, or PTL, shifts this approach by treating your lived experience as an objective data source. It starts in the bottom right with high structure, and through consistent application, maps a path toward the top right, high structure and high return. Without a rigid processing engine, your daily experiences simply repeat themselves in a reactionary loop. You end up reacting to the same problems instead of compounding them into professional assets. Breaking that loop requires a cognitive engine called LREMI. This is a clinical filtration pipeline designed to strip emotional noise away from your daily observations and decisions. Running this engine requires a trade. It demands procedural discipline, emotional detachment from your own outcomes, and a commitment to delayed gratification. Pathway to Legacy organizes this engine into a 7-tier system. This ranges from a free entry-level diagnostic up to a premium full course. Calculating the value of this system requires looking past the price tag. You must weigh the financial cost against the intense cognitive overhead demanded by the methodology. You're choosing between the immediate dopamine of a quick-fix coaching session and the slow, compounding friction of structural architecture. The entire ecosystem rests on one non-negotiable daily habit, the two-space system. Look at the left side of this flowchart. This is Space 1, or Cultivating Clarity. This is an unfiltered workshop environment used for raw emotional processing and recording the unfiltered data of your day. On the right is Space 2, the Portfolio Archive. This is a permanent, ordered environment. You only move clean, extracted data summaries here, separating the actual insights from the initial emotional mess. Blending these two spaces destroys your clarity. Mixing them buries the actionable signal underneath the emotional noise you recorded earlier. Strictly maintaining this daily filtration builds an identity web. This is a documented map of how you actually behave when you are under pressure. The discipline required to maintain this system is the primary cognitive tax of the methodology. It is the only way to transform a subjective reaction into an objective insight. That filtration feeds the LREME loop. The first 3 stages, learn, reflect, and extract, are mandatory. You must clear them before you attempt to create market value. During the extract phase, you perform mechanism discovery. This involves stripping away abstract traits like "I'm creative" to find the exact functional logic you use to produce results. The system enforces a rule against premature monetization. You are forbidden from building an offer based on ego. You must wait until your data proves a behavioral pattern is mature. When you reach the 4th stage, you use this equation. Strength plus observed pain plus repeatable context equals a monetizable pattern. The final stage is execute. This is where your extracted mechanism is exposed to real-world conversations and market rejection. The LREME loop is not a straight line to wealth. It is a continuous refinery. Market rejection is fed back into the extraction phase to sharpen your next move. Accessing these frameworks requires a financial investment. We have to evaluate if the cost matches the output. This matrix breaks down the tiers. At levels 0 through 2, you are paying between $0 and $25 for awareness prompts. The cognitive effort is moderate, and the only asset you unlock is your personal identity web. Levels 3 and 4 cost between $50 and $100. Here, the cognitive load doubles. You unlock execution frameworks and generate a monetization map that forces you into live market testing. Finally, level 6 is the full course. This demands the maximum financial and time commitment to build a complete structural architecture for your career. Financial investment cannot bypass the cognitive tax. The true cost of this system is the daily friction of running the extraction process. Individuals seeking passive income templates or emotional validation will fail here. The methodology will crush any approach based on comfort. The scattered beginner profile is an ideal fit for the lower tiers. If you are overwhelmed by ideas but struggle to execute, the $0 to $25 levels provide the rigid boundaries you need. The stuck operator requires the mid-tiers. These are individuals with existing businesses that feel misaligned, who need to re-extract their mechanisms to fix their current operations. Accurately matching your current friction to the correct tier prevents you from burning out on a cognitive load you aren't ready for. The Scaling Architect is the ideal candidate for the Level 6 full course. This profile uses the system to transition from a reactionary freelancer to a structured thought leader with scalable assets. The pathway to legacy ecosystem requires a trade. You must abandon the comfort of short-term dopamine and commit to procedural discipline. This system is a cold, mechanical refinery for human behavior. It processes the raw chaos of your days into perfectly uniform, usable assets. The El-Remy methodology only outputs a legacy if you are willing to consistently shovel the raw data of your daily life into the machine.